Now, crossovers may be all the rage nowadays, but PPVs are still the vehicle of choice for those who want a rugged 7-seater. They're tough, you can drive them almost anywhere, and they have a lot of road presence. In this video, we're gonna rank the different PPVs in different categories. We're gonna rank them based on refinement, based on tech, based on interior space, value for money, and then at the end, we're gonna choose our overall pick. So which PPV is worth your money? Let's find out. Large SUVs are kind of like the automotive equivalent of testosterone replacement. They make you feel bigger and more confident on the road. If you see a PPV driver acting like he's king of the road, that's probably because he feels like it. PPV stands for Pickup Platform Vehicle. Here in the Philippines, that includes all ladder frame SUVs that are based on a pickup platform, such as the Nissan Terra, which is based on the Navara, the Toyota Fortuner, which is based on the Hilux, the Mu-X, which is based on the D-Max, the Everest, which is based on the Ranger, and the Montero, which is based on the Strada. Because they have a stiff ladder frame chassis, they're more heavy-duty than most crossovers, and as such, they cater to those who have rugged needs. Those who occasionally drive over unpaved paths, whether for leisure or necessity. Those who need to tow heavy loads. And also for those who just want to look rugged. Even though these are truck-based SUVs, they're not really supposed to feel like trucks anymore. They should still be rugged, but they're also supposed to feel refined and elegant. The ideal PPV is maginoo pero medyo bastos. In this video, we're not gonna base our rankings on the spec sheet alone, except for the tech category, which is based on features. We're also gonna factor in how the vehicle feels to drive and other things that you may not see on the spec sheet. So let's start with the first category. First category is best low end. We'll classify low end as anything that sells under 1.9 million pesos. At third place is the Nissan Terra VE. On the outside, the VE looks just as premium as the higher end VL. The VE gets the same 18-inch wheels, the same quad LED headlamps, same LED tail lamps, gets the same chrome trims. So on the outside, no one would be able to tell that you have a lower variant. On the inside though, the difference is more pronounced. You get a lot more hard plastics. You get a polyurethane steering wheel, fabric seats. So it feels a lot less premium than the VL. At second place is the Mistubishi Montero GLS. The Montero GLS gets fabric seats, an all-plastic dashboard, an aftermarket-looking 8-inch screen, which is not as nice as the one that you get on the Terra VE, but Mitsubishi updated the Montero GLS with a 360 camera. It also gets a leather-wrapped steering wheel, and those two features give it an edge over the Terra VE. First place may not come as a surprise if you've been watching my reviews. The Everest trend rewrites the formula for what we should expect from our base model PPVs. It feels significantly more premium than any other PPV that sells for under 2 million pesos. And this only sells for 1.79. You get a premium looking interior with power leather seats. You get a huge high resolution vertical infotainment screen. You get a fancy digital cluster, wireless phone charging, LED lighting. It also rides better and is more quiet than any of its competitors. The Ford Everest trend is undoubtedly the best PPV under 1.9 million pesos. Next category is best mid-range. We'll classify mid-range as those that fall between 1.9 to 2.2 million pesos. At third place is the Toyota Fortuner Q. The Fortuner Q is one of the best equipped PPVs under 2.2 million pesos. It comes with Toyota's Safety Sense, which includes adaptive cruise control, automatic braking. It has power leather seats. It has a 360 camera, and it has Toyota's 2.8-liter engine, which is the second most powerful in the segment. From a spec sheet standpoint alone, this stands out in this price bracket. The Fortuner Q, though, as well as other variants of the Fortuner, have a couple of major drawbacks. One is the way the third row seats fold sideways, which limits cargo space by a lot. The other is the harsh ride, and that's why it's in third place. At second place is the Nissan Terra VL 4x2. The Terra is one of my favorites. It's relatively quiet, the ride quality is excellent, the interior is one of the best in this segment. Its screen may be the same size as most of its competitors, but the image quality is a lot better. It also comes with a 360 camera. There are two things though that keep it from taking the number one spot. One is its lack of adaptive cruise control, and two is its lack of a power liftgate. At first place is the Isuzu Mu-X LSE 4x2. Its spec sheet may not be as long as the Fortuner Q, but I think this is a better balanced SUV. It has the same features as the LSE 4x4, except for the 4x4 bits. It even has the same 20-inch wheels. It has full ADAS. It has the most usable third row. And it rides a lot better than the Fortuner Q. Unlike the Terra VL, this comes with a power liftgate and, more importantly, adaptive cruise control. Best high-end. Now, since the best high-end variant will also be my pick for the best PPV of 2022, we're gonna leave this one for last. Next category is best in tech. At third place is the Montero GT 4x4. The Montero is the oldest in this list, but it can still keep up with the pack in terms of tech. It has ADAS like adaptive cruise control, blind spot warning. It has a fully digital cluster, and it has a 360 camera. At second place is the Toyota Fortuner GRS. The Fortuner GRS has a pretty impressive spec sheet. It comes with ADAS like adaptive cruise control, automatic braking, a 360 camera. It has a pretty impressive speaker system and a wireless phone charger. However, it's not as impressive as our top pick in this category. And at first place is the Ford Everest Titanium 4x4. The Titanium 4x4 is the king when it comes to tech features. It has everything that the others have, like ADAS, which includes adaptive cruise control, automatic front and rear braking. It also has a 360 camera and wireless phone charging. But it does everything a lot better. The 360 camera is of a much higher resolution, and it's displayed on a huge 12.3-inch vertical screen, which is miles ahead of any of its competitors in terms of size and clarity. It's also the only one that has lane keep assist, which automatically steers the vehicle to follow the lines of the road. It has automatic parking. It has adaptive headlights. It has power folding third row seats, and it has a panoramic sunroof. Next category is best interior. You spend the most time looking at the interior of a car, so it is important that it looks good and feels good. The interior of the new MU-X is a huge improvement over the previous generation. It looks more premium, and it doesn't look truck-like anymore. It looks more modern than the interior of the Fortuner and the Montero. You get a 10-inch screen. You get power adjustable leather seats. You get leather on top of the dashboard and on the armrests. I do wish that they kept the brown and black color scheme of the D-Max. I think that would have made this interior look a lot nicer. At second place this year was our first place last year, the Nissan Terra VL 4x4. The Terra's interior looks premium, it feels solid, the materials are excellent. The screen, although not the biggest in the segment, has very good pixel density and it's very responsive. I'd take the screen over the screen of the Mu-X, even though the screen of the Mu-X is bigger. The kilted seats and the two-tone color scheme also add to the premium look of the Terra's interior. Overall, it's a very nice place to be, but not as nice as our top pick, the Ford Everest Titanium 4x4. The Everest Titanium 4x4 has the most premium and most modern looking interior in this segment. The huge 12.2-inch screen makes everything else look tiny and dated. Not only is it big, it's also very sharp and the contrast is very good. You also get a huge 12-inch instrument cluster. You get ambient lighting. The materials are top-notch. And it's the only one that comes with a panoramic sunroof, which definitely improves the ambiance in the cabin. The third row seats of most PPVs are really meant for smaller adults and kids. However, some are more spacious than others. I don't fit in the Fortuner, not unless I slouch or bend my neck a little bit. The Terra's headroom is okay, but the flooring is too high. You also get a lump on the side of the flooring, so it's hard to position your feet properly. For reference, I'm 5'8". My proportions are pretty unusual though. I have a pretty big head, so I need more headroom than legroom than most people. The Montero may be the smallest PPV, but it has a more spacious third row than the Terra and the Fortuner. One thing though is that the second row seats can't be moved forward, so you either fit in the third row or you don't at all. At second place is the Ford Everest. Despite being the biggest in the segment, it only places second, mostly because of the high flooring and I don't get a lot of footroom. The Mu-X has the best third row by far. The flooring is low and flat, headroom is decent, and you can recline the third row. Best in refinement. Refinement would include noise insulation and ride quality. At third place is the Isuzu Mu-X. The new Mu-X is a major improvement over the previous generation in terms of refinement. It's more quiet and it feels a lot less like a truck now. Despite the 20-inch wheels, the ride quality is also better. Even though the NVH has been improved, it's still not as good as some of the other PPVs on this list. The engine is quite audible, especially above 1,500 RPM. And the ride is good, but not as good as the next one on this list. At second place is the Nissan Terra VL 4x4. The Nissan Terra's noise insulation is very good. It has acoustic glass, which helps keep out outside noise. The engine is not as audible as the Mu-X. The ride quality is one of the best in the segment. The suspension is very soft, which results in good ride quality in the city and on mostly straight roads. However, on twisty roads, it does tend to lean quite a bit more, which makes you feel like you're on a boat. The Terra was my choice for the best in refinement last year. This year though, there is a new contender and it takes the top spot. And at first place is the Ford Everest Titanium 4x4. The Titanium 4x4 is now the gold standard when it comes to refinement. It is the most quiet by a huge margin. You can barely hear the engine at idle, and even at 1,500 RPM, you don't get a lot of diesel clatter inside the cabin. The ride quality is also one of the best. The suspension is soft, but it doesn't feel as floaty as the Terra. In terms of refinement, the Everest has set the bar pretty high for the next generation of PPVs. Next category is best value for money. We're going to define value for money as the features that you get per peso. At third place is the Toyota Fortuner Q. At its price of 2 million pesos and change, the Fortuner Q beats everything in the middle of the pack in terms of features. It has power leather seats, adaptive cruise control, a 360 camera, wireless phone charging, and it comes with Toyota's 2.8-liter engine. Now honestly, I think a lot of the Everest's other variants are not that well spec'd compared to the competition. But Ford definitely hit it out of the ballpark with the base model and the top of the line. The base model, the Ford Everest Trend, at its price of 1.79 million pesos, vastly outclasses everything in the same price bracket. So it gets second place. The top-of-the-line titanium 4x4 is the most feature-packed, the most refined, the most quiet PPV, regardless of price. It is now the benchmark that future PPVs will be compared to, and it sells for about the same price as other top-spec PPVs. So it gets first place. Next category is Best Exterior. Now, since this is a very subjective category, I wanted you guys to choose the winner. Congratulations to those who voted for the Everest for the landslide victory. At second place is the Fortuner, followed by the Nissan Terra. Next category is Best in Reliability. Now, this is understandably an important concern for a lot of people, but it's not something that's easy to measure. I've done a full video on car reliability. The link is in the description below. But to summarize, measuring reliability is not as simple as knowing which brand the vehicle is from. To pick a winner here, I'd have to predict which one is most likely to last you the longest. Now, I can judge based on objective measures like features, subjective measures like looks. However, I'm not a fortune teller and I'm not going to judge based on predictions. What I can say though is that all of these brands are very well established in the Philippines. You'll hear good stories and bad stories about each model, but rather than base it on hearsay, it's better to base it on more measurable aspects of reliability. One of those would be the warranty. Whichever brand you choose, there's a chance that you'll encounter problems. If you're covered by warranty, you'll have something solid to fall back on that's not based on probabilities or hearsay. I'm not gonna pick a winner here, but here are the warranties for the different brands. Now, before I choose my best PPV of 2022, let me first talk about why I didn't choose the others. Fortuner GRS. Despite the impressive spec sheet of the Fortuner GRS, there are a couple of things that hold it back from becoming a great SUV. One is the third row seats. The Fortuner is in the bottom two along with the Terra when it comes to third row space. I'm 5'8" and I could barely fit. Even worse is that they fold sideways, which severely limits your cargo space. You can only fit one balikbayan box even with the third row seats stowed away. You get more usable cargo space on smaller crossovers, and that I think is a major point against it. NVH levels are also not very good, and the ride quality is the worst in the segment. Also, upon testing, the adaptive cruise of the Fortuner GRS deactivates below a certain speed. So it's not useful in stop-and-go traffic, unlike the other models.
Nag-deactivate.
The Terra was actually one of my favorites in this class. NVH levels are very good. The interior is one of the best. Its 360 camera is better than what you get on the Fortuner. I also like how it looks, but it does have a couple of major drawbacks. This is the only PPV in the segment that doesn't come with adaptive cruise control and a power liftgate. The Montero is the oldest in the segment, and it's starting to show in some areas like the interior. The screen looks small and dated, and the awkward way that you fold the seats is also a point against it. I can name a couple of areas that could be improved on the new Mu-X, like the engine noise penetrating into the cabin, but I can't think of anything that I would consider a deal breaker. The Mu-X does a lot of things really well. It has the most usable third row. It's one of the most fuel efficient in the class, and the adaptive cruise works really well. These are just some of the reasons why it was my top pick last year. However, this year, there is a new PPV that excels in almost every way in this class. So which one is my overall pick? It's this one beside me. The Ford Everest Titanium 4x4. It has the most tech, it has the most driver assist features, the best interior, the most powerful engine, I would say the most fun to drive, and it's the most refined in the segment by a mile. If you had 2.45 million pesos to burn, this would be the objective best choice.